Why people overthink everything. Psychology of the anxious mind. Have you ever noticed how your mind refuses to slow down, especially when you want peace the most? You replay conversations, imagine future problems, analyze small details, and think about situations that may never even happen. Overthinking feels exhausting, yet stopping it seems impossible. Many people believe overthinking means they are weak, negative, or incapable of controlling their thoughts. But psychology shows a very different truth. Overthinking is not a flaw. It is a coping mechanism created by the brain in response to uncertainty, fear, and emotional overload. In this video, we will explore why the human mind overthinks, what is really happening inside the brain, and why some people struggle with it more than others. The human brain is designed to predict the future. From an evolutionary perspective, anticipating danger helped humans survive. The brain learned to constantly scan for threats, patterns, and possible outcomes. In today's world, physical danger is less common, but the brain still operates the same way. Instead of predators or survival threats, it now focuses on social situations, relationships, career choices, and personal identity. Overthinking happens when the brain believes that thinking more will lead to control and safety. It creates the illusion that if you analyze everything deeply enough, you can prevent pain, failure, or embarrassment. In reality, excessive thinking often increases anxiety rather than reducing it. One of the main psychological reasons behind overthinking is fear of uncertainty. The brain dislikes not knowing. When a situation feels unclear, unresolved, or unpredictable, the mind starts generating scenarios in an attempt to fill the gaps. This is why unanswered messages, unclear responses, or unexpected changes trigger intense overthinking. The brain would rather imagine negative outcomes than sit with uncertainty. From a psychological standpoint, uncertainty feels threatening because it removes the brain's sense of control. Overthinking becomes a way to regain that control, even if it creates stress. Another major factor is emotional sensitivity. People who feel emotions deeply often overthink more because their brain processes experiences at a higher emotional intensity. Small events can feel meaningful, and minor interactions can carry emotional weight. The brain revisits these moments repeatedly, trying to understand their meaning and emotional impact. This is not a weakness. It is a sign of heightened emotional awareness. However, without boundaries, this sensitivity can turn into mental overload. Past experiences also play a powerful role in shaping an overthinking mind. If someone has experienced criticism, rejection, failure, or emotional instability, the brain learns to stay alert. It tries to prevent future pain by analyzing everything in advance. Overthinking becomes a protective habit. The brain believes that constant thinking will stop mistakes from happening again. Unfortunately, this protection often turns into self-doubt, hesitation, and mental exhaustion. Perfectionism is another psychological driver of overthinking. When the brain believes that mistakes are unacceptable, it tries to predict every possible outcome before taking action. This creates mental pressure to make the right decision at all times. Perfectionism convinces the brain that thinking more will lead to better results. But in reality, it often leads to indecision and fear of action. The mind becomes stuck between options, constantly evaluating and reevaluating without moving forward. Overthinking is also connected to self-identity. When people tie their worth to outcomes, opinions, or approval, the brain becomes overly focused on how things might go wrong. Thoughts like, what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if they think differently of me? Dominate the mind. The brain tries to protect self-image by rehearsing situations mentally. This constant self-monitoring increases anxiety and reduces presence in the moment. Another important psychological aspect is the brain's habit loop. Overthinking, like any habit, becomes automatic when repeated often. The more you overthink, the more familiar it feels to the brain. Eventually, the mind enters overthinking mode without conscious choice. This is why telling someone to just stop thinking never works. The brain needs awareness and new patterns, not force. Sleep and silence also intensify overthinking. At night or during quiet moments, external distractions disappear and the brain turns inward. Without stimulation, unresolved thoughts rise to the surface. The mind uses this quiet time to process emotions, but without guidance, it can spiral into worry. This explains why overthinking feels strongest late at night. Understanding overthinking changes the way you respond to it. Instead of fighting your thoughts, psychology suggests observing them without judgment. When you recognize that overthinking is your brain trying to protect you, you reduce self-criticism. Awareness creates distance between you and your thoughts. You begin to see that thoughts are mental events, not facts. Over time, this awareness weakens the habit loop. Learning to tolerate uncertainty is another key step. When the brain learns that uncertainty does not equal danger, overthinking gradually loses its purpose. Small actions, presence, and grounding help shift the brain from imagination to reality. Overthinking decreases when the mind feels safe enough to rest. Overthinking does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your brain is working overtime to protect you in a world full of uncertainty. With understanding, patience, and awareness, the same mind that overthinks can become a source of insight, creativity, and emotional intelligence. If this video helped you understand why your mind overthinks and what psychology says about it, take a moment to observe your thoughts today without trying to change them. Awareness is always the first step toward peace. If you found this video helpful, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who struggles with overthinking. Let me know in the comments what usually triggers your overthinking and what psychology topic you want to explore next.